Dear students, today's topic of my lecture, Unit 3, Magnetic Effect of Current and Magnetism. So, magnetic effect of current already explained and the videos are uploaded. Now, today's magnetism, chapter 5, part 1. And what you have to learn in this chapter 5 that you see here, first is current loop as a magnetic dipole and its dipole moment. Second one, magnetic dipole moment of a revolving electron. And the third one, bar magnet as an equivalent solenoid. So today we have to learn all these three parts of magnetism. So one by one we explain. The first topic is current loop as a magnetic dipole and its dipole moment. So for that purpose, you can see here a magnetic field which is at large distance due to a current in a circular current loop is very similar in behavior to the electric field on an electric dipole at its axial line. So we have to compare the expression of electric field intensity at a point on its axial line, and then we define that the current loop behave as a magnetic dipole, and also we define the dipole moment. So as you see that already that we have done magnetic field on the axis of the current carrying loop of radius r carrying the steady current I, then the magnitude of magnetic field is given by B equal to mu naught I r square upon 2 within bracket r square plus x square raised to the power 3 by 2, where x is the distance of the point P from the center of current carrying circular loop on its axis. Now if we say that x is greater than r, then r square can be neglected in the denominator, and then the equation 1 becomes b equal to mu naught I r square upon 2 x cube. Mark this equation number 2. Now we multiply the equation 2 by 2 pi in numerator as well as in denominator. So the equation 2 becomes b equal to mu naught 2 I pi r square upon 4 pi x cube. Or we can say that this pi r square is the area of loop. So we can write b equal to mu naught 2 I a upon 4 pi x cube. Now, but this I into a that you have already studied, that is magnetic dipole moment. So B equal to mu naught upon 4 pi 2m upon x cube, where m equal to Ia magnetic dipole moment. Now, as we have already calculated electric field intensity at a point on the axial line of electric dipole, and that is E equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2p upon x cube. Now we compare equation 3 and 4. Then what we get from equation 3 and 4, both electric and magnetic field have same distance dependent, that is 1 upon x cube, and also have the same direction. So that's why it is suggested that current carrying loop behaves as a magnetic dipole with magnetic dipole moment m equal to Ia. So by this explanation, we can say that the current loop behave as a magnetic dipole and its dipole moment is m equal to Ia. A. Now the direction of magnetic dipole moment is always perpendicular to the plane of the coil, can be found by the right hand rule. And what is the right hand rule? Wrap the fingers of your right hand around the loop in the direction of the current. So the curl of the fingers towards the nail, they represent the direction of the current. And then the thumb will represent the direction of magnetic dipole moment. So you see in the diagram also that the loop that is held in the right hand and the curl of the fingers that is in the direction of current, then the thumb represents the direction of magnetic dipole moment. Then you see here the magnetic dipole moment direction from south to north, which is represented by M vector. And here the current is flowing in the circular loop and its direction is along the direction of fingers, and the direction of magnetic field towards the thumb, and these are the field lines. Now the unit of magnetic dipole moment, as we know that M equal to Ia. So if we say that I equal to 1 ampere and A equal to 1 meter square, then M equal to 1 meter ampere meter square. So SI unit of magnetic dipole moment is ampere meter square. And if you want to define the 1 ampere meter square, then it is defined as magnetic dipole moment of a single turn loop of area 1 meter square and carrying a current of 1 ampere. That is known as 1 ampere meter square magnetic dipole moment. Now here you note down the important point that the magnetic dipole moment, that is M equal to Ia, is the property of the loop itself and the current it carries. It is perpendicular to the plane of the loop and its direction depends on the direction of the current. Obviously, if the direction of the current in the loop is clockwise, then that face is the south pole, and if it anti-clockwise, then that face is the north pole, and the direction of magnetic dipole moment is always from south pole to north pole. So you just remember it. Now we have to find out the magnetic dipole moment of a revolving electron, which is a very important topic. Now here we are considering an electron is revolving around the nucleus in its orbit of radius r. Then due to the motion of the electron, as you see that here the electron is revolving in anti-clockwise direction. Then the direction of the current in its orbit becomes clockwise. So that current is equal to charge upon time. So here the charge is on electron and it is completing its motion in its orbit. So it is a time period. So the current is equal to E upon T. Mark this equation number 1. Then find out the time period. Time period T equal to 2 pi r upon V. That the electron is revolving with linear velocity, we say that V, or moving with velocity V. Then T equal to 2 pi r upon V. Mark this equation number 2 and substitute the value of E in equation number 1. Then equation 1 becomes I equal to EV upon 2 pi r. Now for calculating the magnetic dipole moment, you require current as well as area of the loop. So here the area of the orbit of the electron, that becomes pi r square. Then orbital magnetic dipole moment of electron, mu L equal to Ia. Here the electron is revolving in an orbit. That's why its magnetic dipole moment we are calling orbital magnetic dipole moment. That is mu L equal to IA. Now we substitute the value of I and A in this equation. Then what we will get? Mu L equal to EV upon 2 pi r multiplied by pi r square. This pi and this pi get cancelled. Then finally what you will get? Mu L equal to half EV r. Now since the electron is revolving in its orbit, then it must have the angular momentum, and that angular momentum of electron about the central nucleus, that is L equal to mvr, that you have already studied. Linear momentum is the product of, sorry, angular momentum is the product of linear momentum and the perpendicular distance. So here the linear momentum is mv and r is the perpendicular distance and L is the angular momentum. So L equal to mvr. Mark this equation number 4. Then divide the equation 3 and 4, that is the equation 3 by 4. So you will get mu L upon L equal to half EVR upon MVR. So here you see that this VR and this VR get cancelled, and rearrange it. Then you will get mu L equal to E upon 2 MEL. Me we just specified here, that is the mass of electron. Mark this equation number 5. Now we find out the value of this angular momentum. So according to the Bohr's postulate, we know that the electrons revolves in certain stationary orbits in which its angular momentum is some integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So according to the Bohr's theory, L equal to nh upon 2 pi. Now you substitute this value in equation number 5. Then equation 5 becomes mu L equal to E upon 2me into nh upon 2 pi. Then it becomes NEH upon 4 pi me. Mark this equation number 6. Now we take, if n equal to 1, then the equation 6 becomes mu L equal to EH upon 4 pi me. This is the least value of orbital magnetic dipole moment, where E is constant, H is constant, 4 pi is constant, me is also constant. Substitute all these values. Then what you will get? Mu L equal to 1.6 into 10 is power minus 19 into 6.63 into 10 is power minus 34 upon 4 into 3.14 into 9.1 into 10 is power minus 31. That is the mass of electron. And when you solve it, you will get mu L equal to 9.27 into 10 is power minus 24 ampere meter square. And this least value of orbital magnetic dipole moment is called Bohr magneton. You remember it, 1 marks question. This least value of orbital magnetic dipole moment is known as Bohr magneton. Okay. Now the next topic is bar magnet as an equivalent solenoid, which is also a very important topic. Now for that purpose, we consider a solenoid of length 2L, of radius A, carrying the current I. Let small n be the number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. Now here we have to find the magnetic field at point P from the center of the solenoid. And then this magnetic field we compare with the magnetic field of a bar magnet at a point on its axial line. If both the fields are same, then we can say that the bar magnet as an equivalent solenoid. So let us see. We have to calculate. So for that purpose, we divide the solenoid into the small circular elements of thickness dx, which is at x distance from the center of solenoid. Let P be a point on the axis of the solenoid at distance small r from the center of solenoid. Then we have to find first magnetic field at point P due to a small circular element of thickness dx, and after that we sum all the small magnetic field due to the small circular elements of thickness dx. That is, we integrate it. Then we get the total magnetic field at point P due to the entire solenoid. So let us see here. As we know that magnetic field at a point on the current carrying circular loop or coil, the same concept here we have to apply because we are taking here a circular element of thickness dx. So because of that, the magnetic field at point P is dB equal to mu naught I a square and dx, number of turns in a small circular element, upon 2 a square plus r minus x, means the distance of the circular element and point P. So this is r distance and this is x. So this distance becomes r minus x. So r minus x whole square and whole power is 3 by 2. Mark equation number 1. This is the same formula which you have applied earlier also. B equal to mu naught I r square n upon 2 r square plus x square raised to the power 3 by 2. So here in place of capital R, small a, in place of the number of turns, here n dx. So and in place of x, it is r minus x. So that equation becomes dB equal to mu naught I a square n dx upon 2 within bracket a square plus r minus x whole square raised to the power 3 by 2. Mark this equation number 1. Now, as I already told you that this is the magnetic field because of the one circular element of thickness dx. But entire solenoid has the large number of this type of the circular elements. So we have to integrate this equation for finding the total magnetic field at point P. So B equal to mu naught n I a square upon 2, you take outside, and integral from minus L to L. Minus L is this because we are taking a distance from the center and the length of the solenoid is 2L and this length is minus L and this is L. So we are integrating from minus L to L, dx upon r minus x whole square plus a square raised to the power 3 by 2. Now here we take some approximation. We say that let small r, that is the distance of point P from the center of solenoid, is greater than the radius of solenoid, that is greater than a, and also greater than L. Then in that condition the denominator is approximately can be written as r minus x whole square plus a square raised to the power 3 by 2. Approximately we can write r cube. Then equation 2 becomes, substitute this value in equation 2 and the equation 2 becomes B equal to mu naught n I a square upon 2r cube and integration minus L to L dx. Or we can say that the integration of the dx is x. So it becomes B equal to mu naught n I a square upon 2r cube and within bracket is x minus L to L limits, and you solve it, upper limit minus lower limit. So it becomes B equal to mu naught N I A square upon 2R cube. Within bracket is L minus, within bracket is minus L, upper limit minus lower limit. So minus minus that becomes plus. So this becomes B equal to mu naught N I A square upon 2 R cube, and within bracket is L plus L, that is 2L. So B equal to mu naught I A square N into 2L, that is the total number of turns of entire solenoid, and this 2 and this 2, sorry, this N into 2L, that becomes the total number of turns of the solenoid, which is represented by capital N. Then this becomes B equal to mu naught I A square N upon 2R cube. Again you can see that B equal to mu naught N I A square upon 2R cube, and within bracket L plus L, that is 2L. So this N into 2L, that becomes capital N, that is total number of turns of solenoid. So that's why now B equal to mu naught I A square N upon 2 R cube. Now multiply this expression by 2 in denominator as well as in numerator. Of course, by pi and pi. So we can say that this expression can be multiplied by 2 pi in numerator as well as in denominator, so that the final expression which you get, and that comes in terms of the mu naught upon 4 pi, so that the calculation becomes easy and concept can be made easily. Calculate the result of the numericals, that is B equal to mu naught 2 I pi A square N upon 2 is here, 2 pi when you multiply, then 4 pi R cube. So finally what you will get, mu naught 2 I A pi A square, that is area. So this becomes mu naught 2 I A N upon 4 pi R cube. Now what is this that you have already studied? IAN, that is magnetic dipole moment. So this equation becomes B equal to mu naught upon 4 pi 2m upon R cube. This is the same result as we get for the magnetic field intensity at a point on the axial line of an magnetic dipole, of a magnetic dipole. So that's why we can say that the bar magnet as well as current carrying solenoid both produces the same magnetic field. That's why both are having the same magnetic dipole moment. Then we can say that magnetic dipole moment of bar magnet is equivalent to current carrying solenoid, which produces the same magnetic field as produced by the bar magnet. So this is about the bar magnet as a equivalent solenoid. If you like my video, then like it, subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you and have a nice day.